NASCAR reveals its most popular driver in the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series. Meanwhile, Kaulig Racing may have their eyes set on their next Xfinity Series driver. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I hope you've had a fantastic week. We've got a lot of news to react to today, some interesting quotes from Denny Hamlin, as well as a surprising report about Kaulig Racing. But we'll kick things off with the results of this year's most popular driver voting. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any news this off season. There is no shortage of shocking stories on a near daily basis, so be sure to subscribe so you do not miss a thing. But let's talk about this year's most popular drivers. During the awards banquet in Nashville last night, Hailie Deegan was revealed as the most popular driver from the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I know some of y'all will roll your eyes, fair enough, but you can't deny she is a powerhouse on social media. More than 3 million followers on TikTok, more than 1 million followers on Instagram, and 376,000 subscribers on YouTube. Man, I remember for like a month when I had more subscribers than Hailie Deegan. It was a glorious month. Did not last very long. Now, obviously, social media isn't everything. Like, clearly, those millions of followers are not buying tickets to the races. But for a competition that takes place entirely over the internet, like the most popular driver voting does, Hailie Deegan is always going to have a built-in advantage there. So not shocking that she won the Truck Series most popular driver. Justin Allgaier, for the third year in a row, is the Xfinity Series most popular driver. This one always surprises me just a little bit, but as Dustin Albino noted on Twitter, this is the 10th year in a row a junior motorsports driver has won this award. So being affiliated with Dale Earnhardt Jr. is obviously an advantage. Meanwhile, for the NASCAR Cup Series, Chase Elliott is once again the most popular driver 4 straight years. I really thought there was a slim chance Kyle Larson could upset him this season, given how much success he had out on the racetrack, the abundance of Kyle Larson merch I saw in the grandstands, especially late in the season. Like, I remember like the first race I went to this year was Circuit of the Americas in May, and there was very little Kyle Larson merchandise to be seen. I mean, very little Kyle Larson merchandise had honestly been made at that point. But by Darlington in the playoffs, by Las Vegas, by Phoenix, the last race of the season, there was a ton of 5 merch across the NASCAR landscape. So I thought Larson had a shot, but nope, Chase Elliott is the most popular driver still. Denny Hamlin, remember, tweeted this and unfortunately came up just a little bit short. Good try though, Denny, good try. Anyway, the same day Chase Elliott gets named as the most popular driver for the 4th straight year though, Hendrick Motorsports announced that Hooters had signed an extension. They're going to continue to sponsor Chase Elliott for 3 races a year. And Rick Hendrick was actually asked about Chase Elliott's contract, which is currently up at the end of 2022, and Rick Hendrick said that the plan, at least, is to re-sign Chase Elliott to an extension. We'll see if, or more likely when, that deal gets done, but cool to have Hooters in a small role still, but continuing their relationship with Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports. Now, during all the festivities this week in Nashville, many drivers spoke to the media, and Denny Hamlin actually confirmed an Adam Stern report from earlier this week that he paid, or that 2311 Racing paid, $13.5 million for Starcom's charter. The charter that 2311 will now use for Kurt Busch. Well, Denny Hamlin confirmed that that is in fact the price he paid.
Did you end up paying more than what you wanted?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. All it did was tell me my investment last year of $4 million was a good investment. So not ideal, but I mean, if we plan on being for the sport for a long time, then you know we're all placing a bet.
We've heard a lot about this, but the charter costs have gone up about 500% over the last year or so. I mean, is that?
Yeah,
that seems astounding.
It is, but I believe it will. It's reached a plateau, right? Because the people that have needed charters now have them, and until there's new people that want to come in the sport, I don't know if there's really any demand now at this point.
That video was posted by Bob Pockers from Fox Sports, and you heard Jordan Bianchi from The Athletic ask that second question about the demand for charters. And Denny Hamlin makes an important observation right there. He only paid $4 million for Bubba Wallace's charter a year ago. He paid $13.5 million for Kurt Busch's charter this year. That kind of rapid increase in charter value is not going to continue. Because simply put, as Hamlin says right there, all the teams that really needed charters for this year now have them. There really isn't anyone out there who's chomping at the bit, desperately trying to purchase a charter. I think there are plenty of groups out there that are still intrigued by the idea of racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. But I think it is safe to say in the immediate future, at least, we are not going to see many or any teams pay that kind of money for a charter. The musical chairs of the charter system for 2021 going into 2022 seems to be over for the time being. We'll see if things pick back up next year or 2 years from now, but for the time being, I think the price of charters is likely going to stabilize. $13.5 million is a lot of money for that charter, but Denny Hamlin also told the media this week that Kurt Busch seems to have been worth it so far. Hamlin said, "I underrated his talent. I worked with him at the Charlotte test. He's not good, he's great. He was faster than all of us, the whole test, the JGR cars. He's everything that his previous teammates said he was going to be so far." So Denny Hamlin at least sounds optimistic that they've made a wise business investment. I've been saying since the very beginning, Kurt Busch is going to do probably more for 2311 than they can do for him. But mutually, I think this is going to be one of the most exciting pairings on track next season. So anyway, Denny Hamlin echoing those thoughts right there. I thought that was interesting. Now for some big NASCAR Xfinity Series silly season news. Adam Stern from Sports Business Journal tweeted earlier today that a Kaulig Racing Xfinity car is seen as the likely destination for Landon Castle and Voyager next season, per sources. But the team says it has nothing to announce yet. Voyager may also evaluate other prospective deals in the NASCAR space, per the company's CEO. Now, firstly, I want to make it clear I do not know much about cryptocurrency, so I can't speak to what Voyager does as a company. We've seen them on Landon Castle's Xfinity cars a few times this season. I want to focus on what this means for Kaulig Racing and, more importantly, for Landon Castle. Obviously, this is not confirmed. This is just a report from a very reputable source. Kaulig has not confirmed it, has not announced any plans at this time, but Landon Castle getting a full-time Xfinity ride with Kaulig next year would be huge. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. I hope this happens. Kaulig's current lineup for next year is pretty exciting as is. In the Xfinity Series, they've got Daniel Hemrick, the defending champion, and AJ Allmendinger, a veteran. And if they add Landon Castle, that'll be 3 drivers all over the age of 30. That'll be a veteran Xfinity team. Meanwhile, in the Cup Series, they've got Justin Haley racing full-time and AJ Allmendinger set to race part-time. And there have been some rumors, some rumblings, some speculation that Noah Gragson might get some part-time races next year in the Cup Series for them as well. I say that because at the beginning of this week, Noah Gragson tweeted this leaf emoji out, leaf filter, major partner of Kaulig Racing. And then after that, he tweeted that same day, "Big day, a moment I'll never forget. Appreciate everyone's support." Gregson's already locked into an Xfinity deal full-time with Junior Motorsports next year, but I don't see any reason why he couldn't go run some Cup races for another Chevy organization like Kaulig. So I think that's likely to happen, but we'll see. That's just speculation on my part. Either way, like I said, I'm very excited for Landon Castle if this deal does in fact come to fruition. Landon Castle is 32 years old. He's a veteran driver who is right now smack dab in the middle of the prime of his racing career. In fact, he might even be kind of in the early portions of the prime of his racing career. Back when he was a teenager in the mid to late 2000s, he was a development driver for Hendrick Motorsports. He's bounced around all 3 NASCAR National Series a ton. Since then, racing for teams like BK Racing, Starcom and Cup, Front Row as well, and Xfinity. He made some part-time starts for Junior Motorsports, 10, 12 years ago. That didn't go amazing, didn't lead to anything huge. He's driven for Morgan Shepherd. Most recently, he's raced for JD Motorsports. So he is the definition of a journeyman driver. But over the course of his topsy-turvy career, he has earned a reputation. He is known for being one of the steadiest, most consistent drivers in the garage. Someone who's reliable, who is not going to go out there and wreck your equipment, who's going to be a total team player. That's why he's so valuable to these mid and maybe lower tier Xfinity and Cup teams. Since we haven't seen him in competitive equipment for like a decade, I'm not sure how high his ceiling truly is. But that's why I'll be excited if he gets this opportunity with a playoff Xfinity Series team. There'll be pressure for sure. Like if he gets this ride and doesn't perform next year, maybe goes winless still, maybe sneaks in the playoffs or even misses the playoffs, that'll be a huge disappointment. But I don't think that's what will happen. I think if Landon Castle gets a Kaulig Racing Xfinity Series ride, I think there's a great chance he wins 1 or 2 races. I think he will be a playoff driver, and that will be heartwarming to see. I'd love to see Landon Castle get rewarded for all those years of grinding and working, driving less than great equipment, less than good, less than bad equipment sometimes. Sometimes he was driving the lowest of the low. To see him land a competitive Xfinity opportunity would be fantastic. I've seen people on social media calling him a pay driver, like, oh, it's just another guy with funding coming in. Landon Castle has paid his dues as much as anyone in recent years. More so than a lot of guys in recent years. I think Landon Castle getting this seat is well deserved, if again, this report turns out to be true. Like I said, he spent this season racing for JD Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. That's a 20 to 30th place team most weeks. And I read an article, an interview he did with Front Stretch over the summer, and I thought this answer was interesting. I'd love to be in the Cup Series. Really though, I want to win races. I want to run well. I love running well at Johnny, JD's, when we can get close to a top 10, and hopefully we get some top 10 finishes this year. I love racing in the Cup Series. I'm not too proud to drive for a smaller team where 30th might be the goal for that week. So I'm not saying I wouldn't do that, but I've done that a lot in my career. I would really like to compete for wins. Obviously, this Kaulig deal would not be a Cup Series deal, but it would be a win-capable deal. It would be his best chance in years, maybe ever, to win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So I hope this turns out to be true. We'll have to wait for an official announcement from Kaulig, but let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about this possibility? Landon Castle getting that Kaulig ride? That'd be another competitive seat off the market for guys like Matt DiBenedetto or Ryan Preece. But do you feel Landon Castle is deserving of that seat? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I look forward to reading them. That is gonna do it for this episode. Again, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR news day in, day out here on Out of the Groove. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters as well. Your support all year long has meant the world to me. I couldn't do this show without it, so thank you. Not sure if I'll have a video up this weekend. If any big news stories come out, you bet we'll be reacting to them right here on Out of the Groove. So if I don't see you until next week, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you again very, very soon.